All right, welcome again to another problem. So this problem is the first problem of the recursion problem set. So here we have write a C program which takes two integers n and b and print the number n surrounded by b square brackets. And here it says note you must use a recursive function to solve all of the problems in the problem set. So basically here's an example. Let's say the user types the number 56 followed by the number 4. So your program has to print out the following: 4 opening square brackets followed by the number that the user have entered followed by 4 closing square brackets. Here's another example. Say the user prints 20 inputs 20 and 0. So you have to print 0 opening square brackets followed by the number 20 followed by 0 closing square brackets. So let's solve this problem. So here I have code blocks again. So I'm going to create a new project, console application, and a C program, and I'm going to give it a name, so say brackets, and there you go. So first let me explain how this is going to work with the recursion. So let's create a new sketchpad here. All right. So let's say the user have typed the number 56 followed by the number 4. So our program basically is going to print a square bracket, 4 square brackets followed by the number 56 followed by 4 closing square brackets. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to create a function. Let's give it a name, f, and it takes two parameters. It takes n, which is the number, and it takes another parameter, b, which is the number of brackets. And basically we have only to print the number 56 if there is no if the brackets equals 0. So let's start with the base case. So basically if b equals 0, then print the number n. So print n. Otherwise, call the function f and give it the same n but decrement b. So it's b minus 1. But before we do this, we have to print an opening bracket. So that's an opening bracket. And after the function return, we're going to have to print a closing square bracket. So that's an if statement, and that's our function. So let's say our function started with the number 56 and then 4. So we're going to start with the if statement. So if b equals 0, b equals 4, 4 is not equal 0, so we're going to execute the else statement. The else statement first prints that opening curly braces, opening square bracket. So we're going to print that square bracket, and then we're going to call another function called f, but with another parameter, the same n, which is 56, and b minus 1, so that's 3. That same function itself is going to start executing. So if b equals 0, b equals 3, 3 is different to 0, so we're going to execute the else statement, And in the else, the first instruction is to print an opening square bracket. So we're gonna print an opening square bracket, and then we're gonna call f of n b minus 1. So we're gonna call f of n, the same n, and b minus 1. B in our case here is 3, so we're gonna call it with 2. And then here's another function f with parameters 56 and 2. So this same function is going to execute the if statement. So if b equals 0, that's false. So we're going to execute the else statement. So another opening square bracket, and then we're going to call f with parameters n and b minus 1. So let's call f with n and b minus 1, so that's 2 minus 1, so that's 1. Same thing here, 1 is different to 0, so we're going to print another opening square bracket, and then this function is going to call f, but with the parameters 56 and 1 minus 1, so that's 0. Now this function here has reached the base case, because b equals 0, so if b equals 0, we're going to print n. So we're going to print that 56. So print that 56. And then basically after printing that 56, we're going to quit this function. This function has nothing to do else other than the statements aside this condition. So we're going to return from this function. But when we return from this function, we actually have quit the f of n b minus 1 instruction. So we're going to quit from here and jump to the next instruction, which is a print and a closing square bracket. So we're going to print a closing square bracket, and then we return again. We quit the function call to the next instruction, which is print in a closing square bracket. So print another closing square bracket. So we'll return to the other function. We'll print another square bracket, and we'll return to the other function, and then we'll print another square bracket, and then we'll return to our main program. And that's basically how we're gonna do it recursively. So let's get back to the code here, and I'm gonna start typing this function. So it's of type void. It's a function called f. It takes two numbers, so the n and the b parameter. And we said that if b equals 0, then we're gonna just print the number n. Otherwise, we're gonna perform three instructions. The first one is to print an opening square bracket and a closing square brackets, and between them there's a function call. So we're going to call f with the parameters n and b minus 1. Alright, so let's test this out. So I'm going to create the variable n with value 56 and the value b, integer b that has 4, and I'm going to call f of n comma b, and let's see the results. So let's run this. So compiling, and as you can see, it's the exact same result that we've expected earlier. If I give it, for example, the value 0 as the b parameter, it's just gonna print the 56. Alright, so that's basically how we do it. See you in the next video.